Please be seated and turn to page 2 in the liturgy book. Gata of atonement, all evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts. Now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all. Nikaya 3 Refuges. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. The 5 remembrances. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. This precious human life, rarely encountered, is easily lost. Now that I have life and opportunity, may I practice the Dharma wholeheartedly. Mahayana refuge. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. Invocation of the lineage. I give thanks for the guidance of my teachers, for the lineage of teachers before them. I give thanks and offerings for their devoted practice of generosity, moral discipline, patience, joyful effort, concentration, wisdom, skillful means, unshakable vow, spiritual powers, and awakened awareness for my benefit. May their years of life be lengthened. May their vows be completely realized, and may I cultivate these perfections with their guidance. 7 practices of the Bodhisattva. I bow down in body, speech, and mind. I offer the best I have to give, both real and imagined, to fill the space between us. I regret and purify all transgressions. I rejoice in all virtues. I request you to remain until total enlightenment. I request wise and compassionate guidance. I dedicate my merit for the sake of all beings. Generating love and compassion. May all sentient beings be free from clinging and hatred, being close to some and distant from others. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from clinging and hatred. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them happiness and the causes of happiness. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from suffering and the causes of suffering. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings have the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from clinging, hatred, jealousy, miserliness, doubt, pride, wrong view, ignorance, and dualistic thoughts. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them to this state. Bless me to accomplish this. Today's reading is on page 12 of the Spiral Bound book, Bodhisattva's Vow. Bodhisattva's Vow. I am only a simple disciple, but I offer these respectful words. When I look deeply into the real form of the universe, everything reveals the mysterious truth of the Tathagata. This truth never fails. In every moment and every place, things can't help but shine with this light. Realizing this, our ancestors gave reverent care to animals, birds, and all beings. Realizing this, we ourselves know that our daily food, clothing, and shelter are the warm body and beating heart of the Buddha. How can we be ungrateful to anyone or anything? Even though someone may be a fool, we can be compassionate. If someone turns against us, speaking ill of us and treating us bitterly, it's best to bow down. This is the Buddha appearing to us, finding ways to free us from our own attachments, the very ones that have made us suffer again and again and again. Now, on each flash of thought, a lotus flower blooms, and on each flower, a Buddha. The light of the Tathagata appears before us, soaking into our feet. May we share this mind with all beings so that we and the world together may grow in wisdom. Please stand for the Heart Sutra on page 4 of the liturgy book. Great Prajna Paramita Heart Sutra. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva practicing deep Prajna Paramita clearly saw that all five skandhas are empty, transforming all suffering and distress. Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form, form is exactly emptiness, emptiness exactly form, sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness are also like this. Shariputra, all things are essentially empty, not born, not destroyed, not stained, not pure, without loss, without gain. Therefore in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no color, sound, smell, taste, touch, object of thought, no seeing, and so on, to no thinking, no ignorance, and also no ending of ignorance, and so on, to no age and death, and also no ending of old age and death, no suffering, cause of suffering, cessation, path, no wisdom, and no attainment, since there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva lives by Prajna Paramita with no hindrance in the mind, no hindrance, therefore no fear, far beyond delusive thinking. Right here is nirvana. Buddhas of past, present, and future live by Prajna Paramita, attaining Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore know that Prajna Paramita is the great sacred mantra, the great vivid mantra, the unsurpassed mantra, the supreme mantra which completely removes all suffering. This is truth, mere formality. Therefore set forth the Prajna Paramita mantra. Set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate Gate Para, Gate Parsam, Gate Bodhi Svaha, Gate Gate Para, Gate Parsam, Gate Bodhi Svaha, Gate Gate Para, Gate Parsam, Gate Bodhi Svaha. Enme Juku Kanangyo Kanzeyanamu Butsuyo Butsu in yo Butsu en Popo So en Jo Rakuga Jo Chonen Kanzeyan Bonen Kanzeyan Nen Jushin ki nen furishin kanze yan namu butsuyo butsu en yo butsu en bobo so en jo raku ga jo chonen kanze yan bonen kanze yan nen jushin ki nen furishin kanze yan namu butsuyo butsu en yo butsu en bobo so en jo raku ga jo chonen kanze yan bonen kanze yan nen jushin ki nen furishin absorbing world sounds awakens a Buddha right here, this Buddha, source of compassion, this Buddha receives only compassion, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, just compassion, thus the pure heart always rejoices in the light, recall this in the dark, recall this moment after moment, the true heart arises time after time. There is nothing but this absorbing world sounds awakens a Buddha right here. This Buddha, the source of compassion, this Buddha receives only compassion, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, just compassion, thus the pure heart always rejoices in the light, recall this in the dark, recall this moment after moment, the true heart arises time after time. There is nothing but this absorbing world sounds awakens a Buddha right here, this Buddha, source of compassion, this Buddha receives only compassion, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, just compassion, thus the pure heart always rejoices in the light, recall this in the dark, recall this moment after moment, the true heart arises time after time, there is nothing but this. Infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind. All that is and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We offer this sincere and devoted practice for the many beings of the 6 worlds and dedicate it in grateful thanks to the strength and sound practice of the great Heartland Sangha and its teachers. May our virtuous actions be clear from all interferences, and may our vows be fully realized. We especially dedicate these merits to Bernie, Rosa, Raul, Bob Brown, Lorelei, Greg, Diana and her family, Laverne, Julie Long. May they have peace and healing, as well as Janet Mendez at the time of her death, as well as those whose names we hold in the silence of our hearts and those whose names we now voice aloud. May we live in perfect peace with Buddha Dharma, and may we realize the Buddha way together. All Buddhas throughout space. and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Mahaprajna, Paramita. Children and Dharma school teachers, please proceed back to the red room. Everyone else, please prepare for zazen. At the sound of the clappers for walking meditation, first and third rows will turn to the right. Second rows and fourth rows will turn to the left. We'll start out slowly, and then when the clappers sound again, we'll go a little bit faster. We will now recite the Song of Covenant together. It's on page 8 of the liturgy book. We, the Daishin Kokoji Sangha, with respect for the worth and dignity of each person, with wonder at the wisdom and compassion we seek to cultivate by practice, and with deep gratitude for the teachers of this lineage and our connection to one another, covenant to support each other by upholding the precepts of doing no harm, practicing good, and actualizing good for others. Please be seated comfortably and so you can see the teachers. Gata on opening the sutra, the Dharma incomparably profound and infinitely subtle is rarely encountered even in millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, receive and maintain it. May we completely realize the Tathagata's true meaning.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. Everybody sort of got here on time, which is very cool. Well, because of the daylight savings time. Yeah. So I've been sort of saying, oh, we're doing great with the move to the Abbey, no problem. We're like, we're basically there. Well, yesterday we actually went back to the Sangha house to try and kind of clean things up a little bit, make sure we've got everything. Oh my God, every cupboard and every drawer that I opened spilled like just a continent worth of stuff. So I totally take that back. There is so much work to do. Please, please come to help next weekend. We're a bit overwhelmed, and there were more dust bunnies than I thought that there were. I was really surprised. Anyway, let's see. We are continuing on with Zen Flesh, Zen Bones, and we're on chapter 4. This is called obedience, which is kind of a funny word. You know, we don't actually use that word very much anymore. It's totally fallen out of favor, right? You will be obedient. If you all be obedient. I think there's even like a what's it called, the DSS, the book of all of the psychological terms of things that you can go. Is it DSS or DMS? DSS. Okay. Apparently there's a word for that now that's a condition. It's sort of like chronic obstructive disorder or something like that. Anyway, be obedience. I have to obey the time. We'll talk about that a little bit more. The Master Bankai's talks were attended not only by Zen students, but by persons of all ranks and sects. He never quoted sutras, nor indulged in scholastic dissertations. Instead, his words were spoken directly from his heart to the heart of his listeners. His large audiences angered a priest of the Nichiren sect because the adherents had left their temple to go to Bankai's temple. This is self-centered, I would say self-righteous, self-centered Nichiren priest came to the temple determined to debate with Bankai. "Hey, Zen teacher," he called out, "wait a minute. Whoever respects you will obey you. What do you say? But a man like myself does not respect you. Can you make me obey?" So it's a real kind of throwdown there, right? And then Bankai says, "I'm sorry, can you just come up a little bit beside me here and I'll show you?" So the priest pushes his way through the crowd to the teacher. "Yo, what you got?" Bankai smiled. "Can you come over here to my left side?" And the priest obeyed. "No," said Bankai. "I think it's easier. My left ear has got a little bit of a problem. I can hear better in my right ear. Can we go over to the right? Please step over here." The priest proudly stepped over to the right. "You see," observed Bankai, "you are obeying me. And I think you're a very gentle person. Right? Now sit down and please listen." It's a good one, yeah? Should I read it once more before we start talking about it? Yeah, let's do it. I'll just read it real through. Chapter 4, Obedience. The Master Bankai's talks were attended not only by Zen students, but by persons of all ranks and sects. He never quoted sutras, nor indulged in scholastic dissertations. Instead, his words were spoken directly from his heart to the hearts of his listeners. His large audiences angered a priest of the Nichiren sect because the adherents had left his temple to hear about Zen. The self-centered Nichiren priest came to the temple determined to debate Bankai. "Hey, Zen teacher," he called out, "wait a minute. Whoever respects you will obey you. What do you say? but a man like myself does not respect you. Can you make me obey you?" "Come up beside me and I will show you," said Bankai. Proudly, the priest pushed his way through the crowd to the teacher. Bankai smiled. "Come over to my left side." The priest obeyed. "No," said Bankai, "we can speak better if you are on the right side. Please step over here." The priest proudly stepped over to the right. "You see," observed Bankai, "you are obeying me, and I think you are a very gentle person. Now sit down and please listen." So there's something very kind of visceral that really hits the bones with this particular story. And, we're so sure that we've got it right. How many times are we so sure that we've got it right? And not only do we have it right, we're going to make the other person wrong and mess with them. This is classic samsaric ego 101 stuff. If you find yourself in this kind of mood, know that you're making it harder to express and realize your Buddha nature. It's really so critical. The reason why we're training so much in silence, in precepts, in paramitas, in liturgy, in socializing together, is so that we can have sort of a new baseline. Right? People come into the temple. I think I've said this before, but it just rings so true, deserves a repeat. That several people have come into the temple and said, "It's really hard for me to be there. People are so nice. I can't take it." I've got to go out and snarl at somebody. So, yeah, the training that's happening here in the temple is getting all the cells of our body to realize there's, the new baseline, the new normal, right? So that when we do that thing that we're going to do, which is kind of go off the rails, we recognize it sooner and we course correct sooner. That's really the point. So I thought I would just share a little bit about the cast of characters because it's fun to know who they are, right? I like to always use the Pilgrims landing in Plymouth, Massachusetts as kind of like a pin in the map of time, right? I grew up maybe half an hour away from Plymouth, so it's quite in my bones. So Bankai was born 2 years after the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth, just to give you a sense of what his time period is. And he was a bit of a rabble-rouser. He had a lot of brothers and sisters, and his brothers were all quite stellar. One of them was a doctor, the other one was a Pure Land Buddhist. And poor Banka, he was just sort of had this mind that was a little bit obstinate, didn't like to obey, right? But at the same time, he had this very sincere, questioning, doubting heart, which is, of course, the heart of Zen. The great doubt is one of the pillars of Zen. The great questioning. We love questions. Bring it on. Test it over and over and over again. Make sure it's true. So when he was young, he first studied Confucianism, and he read this line that said, "The great learning lies in clarifying bright virtue." And he read the lines, bright virtue, and something in his heart kind of came alive. I have no idea what bright virtue is. What is bright virtue? Of course, he questioned his teachers at the time, just like we do in school or in CCD or whatever. And of course, they never have the answers, right? Which is why we're here. You know, times have not changed. Let me just say that right now. And this question that burned in his heart, this lump of coal that was burning in his body that he couldn't get rid of, sent him on a lifelong journey to enlightenment. So don't be afraid of your really annoying, deep questions in your life, especially the ones that are the most difficult. In Buddhism, we welcome those as the soil of practice. No mud, no lotus. Actually, Thich Nhat Hanh put that on a t-shirt, if you can believe it. I thought, God, that was a good idea. Anyway, he's dead. Maybe we can take it back. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm so sorry. I still have so many years of training left, so take heart. Okay. Anyway, all right, we got to stay on track here. All right, so he studies Confucianism and he can't find any answers. So then he goes to study Shin Buddhism. And finally he ends up with the Zen master. And of course, with the Zen master says, go sit and find the answer for yourself. Right? And we all breathe a sigh of relief. Right? Yeah. So, interestingly, this trusting his own heart and his own mind came to be the cornerstone of his teaching. He so thoroughly investigated his own heart-mind and realized what this bright virtue is, that he had absolute and complete faith in everybody else's bright virtue, right? And his teaching came to be what he called the teaching of the unborn, the unstained, the undefiled, the unsullied, the nirvana that is samsara. The Buddha nature, never destroyed, never obstructed. That was his teaching. And he was actually a Rinzai master. He didn't really use, as far as we can tell, the koans that much. Can you imagine every time you wanted to joke, son? Just unborn mind, just unborn mind, just unborn mind, for decades upon decades. I don't know. I suppose it would be okay. I don't know. He also got, when he went to see his Zen master, he got his Dharma name. It was Yotaku. And it means long polishing of the mind gem. Isn't that nice? Okay, of course, echoing back that bright virtue. So that's Bankai. And then our other character is the Nichiren. I see the kids coming. Am I done already? No? Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to go until the kids come. So the Nichiren priest, very interesting. So, there's one Buddhist temple every 1,000 miles or something around here, right? Pretty much. But imagine you're in Japan, and it's like the Protestant churches. I mean, you can throw a rock and you can hit one, right? So, of course, there's a lot of jostling for students and bodies in the temple, right? And Bankai was taking this guy's lunch. Everybody wanted to hear Bankai, right? Because he was kind of, obviously you can feel that speaking from the heart, and it just hits you, and you're moved, right? And there's not a whole lot of philosophical machinations going on. It was interesting. I hadn't been to I have this book reading group that I go to for Gen X teachers, and everybody is super, super smart in that group, right? And extremely well educated. And I hadn't been for a while because we've been getting ready to move, and I found myself listening to them. And first of all, I am in awe at the way that they can move the language around. And somehow something came out of my mind where I was like, you guys are amazing, but I feel like I'm like a doctor in the bush country or something, and people have been at war, and everybody's coming, and everybody's got all these arrows in their body, and all I could think to do is just keep taking the arrows out, I've forgotten about philosophical speculation, right? I'm not sure that philosophical speculation from the high seat really gets to the heart of the matter, does it? No. Although, we certainly have that, and it's very important that you understand the fundamental didactic structure of your practice. Okay? This is very important. Everybody in this temple, I would say, must, right? Strong should obey me. And That's the didactic teacher. Oh my God. No, it's not. Oh my gosh. No, it's really not. Please. Please come to the teaching retreat. Please come and listen, right? I think that's it.
No, just go.
Are they ready?
Just go. I don't. No, just go.
They just, yeah.
Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Thank you for coming to our Sunday service. Are there any announcements? Brief announcements.
A few weeks ago, we added a bell to our mealtime as a little bit of acclamation of, hey, it's time to clean up. And now we're going to add a chant to that ending as well, which will happen close to 2 o'clock. So if you're still here for that, please enjoy the new routine. And so that means in the social time, and if you've got a time you need to leave by, build into that time the time it takes for you to do your own dishes, right? So we're practicing that today, and there'll be a few reminders. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kensei. I have 2 announcements. The first, Sensei alluded to, we need lots of bodhisattvas on Saturday, the 18th, for Moving Day. Many opportunities to practice Samu in many different forms. It would be really helpful if you could sign up using the form so we can plan the projects and formulate Samu teams. That would be super helpful. So that was that. And then the second thing is Sangha circles are forming now. If you've already signed up, you should hear from your host by Wednesday the 22nd. If you haven't signed up, please do. They're really great and a good chance to get to know some people. So, thank you.
My name's Eka. Just a friendly reminder that the Teen Dharma is going to be sewing our reusable bags for Earth Month, April 8th. So you have a little time to unload all of your old t-shirts onto us so that we can sew them and then pass them out. So please do that. Any other announcements?
I have a question. Can you take even small t-shirts?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Please restore the Zendo and join us for lunch in a few moments.